Hey everyone! Today's video is about Mumbago is a mafia boss. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. Let's get going.
What did I tell you?
Bug screamed to his man as they all jumped in fright.
I said that if we didn't get our last job done and done right, all of you would be dead where you stood.
He paced the room before grabbing the gun from his waist and held it to the temple of one of the men. The rest of them trembled in their shoes before hearing the gunshot go off.
Said he had to go, right?
He asked them.
And if you let me down one more time, it'll be all of you.
Bakugou slammed his gun on the table, making his red-headed right-hand man start to clean it. Whenever Bakugou had a day like this, he always left the house for a few hours. It cleared his mind and got him ready for his nightly activities. Being that it was mid-November, the air was chilly, and there were several kids ice skating in a small pond not too far from his home. He parked the car and sat down on a bench. Couples skate together. Kids learning how to play hockey tried to shoot into their small net, and the others just sat and watched along with him. Is there anyone else sitting here? He heard a soft-spoken voice say. Bago was ready to snarl at whoever interrupted his speech, but as soon as he looked up, his voice went mute. You had a laptop in your hand, with a little contraption in the other. He figured it was a hot spot receiver. Bug shook his head no, as he gave him a smile and sat down next to him. He wondered why you decided to sit in the middle of the cold and the work, but he didn't bother to ask you. After a while of just sitting there, he could notice you shiver every now and again. Not a word was spoken until he noticed the hooky puck was heading in your direction. He managed to grab it bare-armed and immediately felt a tingling in his hand. Are you okay? You asked with nervousness in your voice. He immediately grabbed his hand and checked it. His hand had small cuts and a huge gash running through the middle of it. We should get you home and get it cleaned. Bago still hadn't said a word, but he grabbed him down the street. My car is this way, he murmured as he perked up at the sound of him talk. Do you want me to drive? There is no way your hand can possibly grab the steering wheel this way. He handed you the keys to his very expensive-looking car, and you jumped into the driver's seat before taking another look at his now bloody hand. There were seams of blood running down his very muscular form. What you said was true. Your hand wasn't too far from the pond, but your house wasn't exactly a house. It was a run-down apartment that looked too cheap and ugly for his liking. Sorry, from the looks of it, it looks like you have enough money to afford nice things. So my apartment is probably really ugly. This made Baga chuckle. It's fine. He grumbled in his deep voice. You fetched the keys from your purse and unlocked it. Your apartment on the inside looked well put together. He smelled the fresh scent of a holiday candle roaming through the air. I'm a nurse, so I can patch you up and get you on your way in a moment's notice. You chirped, taking out the first aid kit from underneath your kitchen sink. Now, if you want to prop yourself up on the sink, I can get to work. If this was any other person, Bago would have probably screamed at them for even touching him, but for some reason, with you, he didn't even want to raise his voice, an octave higher than his regular voice went. Bakugou opened his hand as he dabbed the alcohol onto the cotton swab. He gave him a warning to brace himself. However, as soon as he started cleaning the cuts, it was like it didn't affect him. Does this not hurt? You asked. Bago laughed before shaking his head no. You must have a huge pain tolerance to be just sitting there and taking it. He responded. You noticed the lack of conversation Bago was making with you. And you're good to go. Just be careful with your hand for the few next hours. He nodded as he jumped off the ledge and went to the door. What hospital do you work at again? He asked. Oh, I work at St. Luke's, downtown. It's the smallest pediatric office next door to the actual hospital. Bakugou hummed the response before waving you goodbye. You woke up the next morning with an odd feeling. It wasn't a bad feeling, but you just felt like there was something going to happen today. Without putting too much thought into it, you looked at the clock on your bedside table. 5:30 a.m. Your shift at the hospital started at 6:15, so you had enough time to quickly get dressed before stopping at the coffee shop near your job for a large coffee before your shift. After picking up your coffee, you walked into the employee entrance to see all of your coworkers as well as the head doctor freaking out around the table. Hey, what's going on? You asked the general crowd. We got a donation last night. A 100,000 donation. Your eyes widened the amount as the lead doctor held a check in his hand. Who's it from? Did they leave a note? You exclaimed. It just says, to the QPD direction. Your heart stopped for what felt like minutes. It was from Bargo, the man that you had helped yesterday. He didn't bother to say any word, knowing if he did, you would never hear the end of it. Well, we should get to our first. Our first appointment starts at 7. You murmured before putting on the rest of your uniform. Hey, you okay? One of your coworkers asked. You didn't bother to respond, as you felt your heart heavy with several different emotions. Hey, Juan, your lunch is on the table. The secretary said, not bothering to look at you. My lunch? I didn't order any. He thought before making you tread to the back room. You noticed a box of food sitting on the table with a card on top of it. Enjoy. Didn't know what to like, but if you want to meet up again, I'll be at this bar tonight, 10 p.m. You couldn't help but smile the note before stuffing the lunch inside of the fridge and going back to your desk. After you left your work and went back home to rest, you were laying down after awakening from your nap when you looked at the clock, reading that it was past 8. You pondered on the thought of actually meeting Baga again. You wanted to thank him for not only donating so much money, but for the lunch you had. You read the note again and looked up the bar. It was in a sketchy side of town, but nevertheless, you gulped down your fear and saw slowly getting ready. You put on black ripped jeans with a cute top and dark heels, both for fixing your semi-messy hair. You couldn't help but pick at your nails as you waited for the time to head out. As you drove off to the bar, you could see the city lights dimming down and how the area was quiet in the sense of people being out on the street. After you found parking at the bar, you walked to the entrance before noticing how many men were looking at you. You played with your fingers before noticing Bog on the back. You walked slowly towards him as he had his men sitting around him. Not at the same table, but at the surrounding ones. Bakugo? You said, in more of a question. He waved his hand up before giving you a tiny smile, before waving you towards him. I'm glad I found you. People were starting to freak me out. You sat down next to him as a waiter immediately came to the table. Is there anything you'd like to order, ma'am? He asked. He quickly looked down at the menu. Can you order a bottle of wine? Red specifically. The yellow-haired male nodded, before running back to get you the bottle. Did you like your lunch? He reminded you. Of course. The steak was amazing. It was so juicy and soft. I haven't had steak like that in what feels like years. You exclaimed. Bakugo, were you the one who sent the money to my job? Yeah, suddenly. His eternal panicking started as he shook his head. You have no idea how much I can thank you for that. You said. You have no idea how much that's going to help as a job and how many patients are going to get treated. Our facility also helps families that can't afford treatments like others, so that's going to help us a ton. He chuckled before swooping you into his lap. Then I continued with the both of you talking until it was time to close the bar. It was already nearly 2 in the morning, and you had to be up in a few hours for work. Paga walked you to your car to make sure that nothing happened to you, and also that you didn't get stopped by one of his men. Tonight was amazing, he whispered as he grabbed your hand. We can do that again if you'd like. He replied as he felt you grab his thigh and pull him towards you. You gave him a kiss that quickly turned heated. He opened the door and laid down on top of you as you ran your hands up and down his arms. There was a muscle feeling to him that was not shown because of his suit. I should get home. I have work in the morning. He nodded as he got off you and dusted himself off. He laughed at the lipstick stains on his lips. You wiped it off his face. I'll see you tomorrow? He asked as you nodded your head. I'll get you from work. And with that, you got back into your car to head back home. Thank you guys for listening. Hope you liked the video. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. Goodbye.